Science has no moral dimension. It is like a knife. If you give it to a surgeon, he will use it to save life. If you give it to a murderer, he will use it to kill.
These words, spoken by Wernher von Braun, capture the dilemma at the heart of one of history's most controversial programs. A deal forged in secrecy, scientists with blood on their hands, and a space race that demanded a moral compromise no one wanted to admit. After World War II, the United States made a decision that would forever blur the line between necessity and ethics. Here's the question. Could the moon landing, the defining achievement of the 20th century, have been possible without the help of Nazi scientists? By the end of this video, we'll uncover the shocking truth about the role these men played in shaping the modern world and the cost of their collaboration. This is the story of Operation Paperclip, a secret program that brought Nazi scientists to America, not for punishment, but for their expertise. What secrets did these scientists carry? And how far was America willing to go to secure its future? Let's uncover the chilling details behind one of the most controversial programs in modern history. It's 1945. The world is still reckoning with the horrors of the Holocaust and the devastation of World War II. But in the shadows, a new battle is already beginning, the Cold War. The Cold War wasn't fought with armies or battlefields. It was a global struggle between the US and the Soviet Union, fought with technology, espionage, and propaganda. Both nations were desperate to gain the upper hand in a race for global dominance. At the heart of this race, the scientific secrets of Nazi Germany, whose researchers had pushed the boundaries of technology in ways the world had never seen. One example was the V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range guided missile. Capable of striking targets hundreds of miles away, it was a deadly weapon and a precursor to modern space exploration. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Soviet forces were already seizing German scientists, relocating them under Operation Paperclip to develop advanced military and space technologies. United States officials feared that failing to recruit Germany's top minds could leave them vulnerable in both the arms race and the space race. In the US, the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, JIOA, was tasked with a bold and morally fraught mission: recruit Nazi scientists to work for America. Under the directive of President Harry Truman, Operation Paperclip was born. Its purpose? To deny the Soviet Union access to Germany's brightest minds, and to harness their expertise for US military and technological advancement. But there was a catch. Many of these scientists weren't just members of the Nazi Party, they were complicit in war crimes. The operation's name came from a simple yet chilling detail. Paperclips were used to mark the files of scientists deemed valuable enough to bring to the US, regardless of their pasts. It's a bit like hiring a hacker who once stole millions of dollars to build your cybersecurity system. You get the expertise, but at what cost? And can you truly trust them? Over 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians were brought to the United States. These were not just any scientists, they were among the most brilliant and morally questionable minds of their time. Let's meet a few of the key figures. Wernher von Braun, once the mastermind behind the Nazi V-2 rocket program, would later design the Saturn V rocket that carried the Apollo missions to the moon. His genius was undeniable, but so were the horrors tied to his work. Thousands of forced laborers died building his rockets in concentration camps. Von Braun was also a member of the SS, or Schutzstaffel, a paramilitary organization that carried out many of the Nazi regime's atrocities, including the Holocaust. Decades later, his NASA colleagues reportedly whispered about his past, even as he was hailed as a hero of the space race. Kurt Blohm, a bioweapons expert, conducted horrifying experiments on concentration camp prisoners. Bioweapons, or biological weapons, use pathogens like bacteria or viruses to harm or kill people. Blom avoided prosecution at the Nuremberg trials, which were military tribunals held after the war to prosecute Nazi leaders for crimes against humanity. His work directly influenced the United States' own biological warfare programs. Hubertus Strughold, heralded as the father of space medicine, was implicated in unethical medical experiments on prisoners, including exposure to freezing temperatures and low-pressure chambers. Strughold's later research helped prepare astronauts for extreme conditions, making him a central figure in space exploration. However, in the 1990s, his legacy was tarnished as evidence of his involvement in Nazi experiments surfaced, leading to facilities bearing his name being quietly renamed. The US government argued that these scientists were essential to national security. But with stakes this high, how far would you go? Imagine a world where the Soviets, not the Americans, reached the moon first. What would that mean for history and for the balance of global power? Let's look deeper into the controversies surrounding this operation. Operation Paperclip was shrouded in secrecy. Many of the scientists' Nazi affiliations were deliberately sanitized. Sanitizing records means altering or erasing information to hide someone's past. For example, Wernher von Braun's official paperwork omitted any mention of his SS membership, ensuring his recruitment would go unchallenged. Imagine being a Holocaust survivor living in post-war America, only to discover that the US offered sanctuary to the very men who had perpetuated atrocities. Survivor groups expressed outrage when these details were declassified in the 1990s. Declassified records are government documents that were once kept secret but made public when deemed safe to release. For many survivors, these revelations felt like a betrayal. Meanwhile, the Cold War provided a grim justification. It was like two rival companies racing to create the next big smartphone, both willing to hire engineers with stolen designs, no matter the ethical cost. The stakes weren't just profit, they were global dominance. Operation Paperclip achieved stunning successes. But at what cost? Wernher von Braun's work helped launch NASA into the space age, culminating in the Apollo moon landing. Without his expertise, the US might never have claimed victory in the space race. Could the moon landing have happened without these men? It's like a school promoting a brilliant student who cheats on exams to boost its reputation. They might win awards, but what message does it send to the people who played by the rules? Beyond the space program, these scientists contributed to missile systems, medical advancements, and even aeronautical engineering, technologies that shaped both military and civilian life. Today, Operation Paperclip is a stark reminder of the ethical compromises nations make in pursuit of power. It's like firefighters breaking down a locked door to save someone during a fire. In an emergency, rules can be bent, but the damage might never be repaired. Was it justified to offer sanctuary to war criminals for the sake of technological progress? Did the ends truly justify the means? Or did America lose something intangible in the process? A moral high ground it could never reclaim.